Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to get 1930 style stage makeup. First off, what you're gonna want to do is take your foundation color and apply that all over your face and your neck so you don't have a foundation line but your skin is all one color. I find it best to use synthetic brushes with cream products because they are much easier to clean than real hair brushes, and you can reuse them, unlike sponges where you'd have to get a new one every single time. I find when blending on the neck, you don't want to go all over your neck, otherwise you're going to get your foundation all over your costume. So the best way to do it is just go past your jawline a little bit. You really want to make sure you blend it in so you don't look like you're wearing any stage makeup. Putting some over your eyes will just help kind of cancel the redness or any discoloration you have on your eyes. Okay, foundation is done. Your next step is going to be contouring, blush, and highlight. Since I'm doing this on camera, I'm going to do it a little lighter, but when you're doing it for on stage, you want to make sure you have a pretty heavy line because you're going to have light shining down on you, which will wash out everything you've done, and you want to make sure audience members can see it, so you want to be a little heavy-handed. And if you see me looking down, it's just because I have a mirror down there and I want to make sure I'm doing a good job. And blending a little bit onto your jawline will help create a strong jawline. Alright, next, using the same brush, I'm just going to go back through and do some blush. Next, we're going to do some highlight, and you want to go down the bridge of your nose, up into your T-zone. You're going to want to do the tops of your cheeks. Your Cupid's bow. This will help make your lips look fuller. And below your eyebrow. This will give you a higher arch. Next is eyebrows, and traditionally you just fill in your whole eyebrow darker. If you want that 1930s look, you can just go for a thin line just heavily on the top of your brow. I'm just going to do the traditional brow today. There's one done, and you can already tell how much of a difference this makes. And you want to use light feathery strokes to make sure you don't apply too much from the start. And people always say your eyebrows are sisters, not twins, so don't make them look exactly the same because that's not reality. Okay, next we're going to powder our skin, and this is important to make sure your makeup doesn't sweat off while you're on stage. And you always want to press in your powder to make sure that you're not ruining all the blending work and contouring and blush that you just did. Next, we're moving on to eyes, and traditional 1930s eyes are pretty neutral matte. Matte is super important for your eyes, and you want to make sure they're super blended, and so you could either do nude or matte peaches, nudes, you could do a matte smoky eye, whatever works best for you. Today I'm going to be doing neutrals on my eyes, so I'm starting with a medium soft cool toned brown and applying that all over my lid. And you can use a primer if you want, but your foundation that you put over your eyelids will act as your primer. I think matte eyeshadows are best when you're on stage because the stage lights are going to catch all those glitter particles in your eyes and kind of alter them a little bit. Okay, next you're going to take a darker brown and just go around your crease and make a little V in the corner. The blending process takes a long time, but it will be worth it. Once you have that semi-blended, you're going to want to take a clean blending brush and go over the edges. Your next step is going to be taking a smudgy brush and going over with the darker brown eyeshadow that you used in your crease just a little bit below to kind of connect the dots between your lower lash line and your crease. But 1930s makeup traditionally doesn't have very much underneath the eyes, so don't be very heavy-handed with this. And that's just your simple eyes done. Next, we're going to move on to your winged eyeliner. And this is very 1930s. Everyone had a wing. I'm using gel, but you could also use a liquid eyeliner. And what you're going to want to do is do a thin line across your lid, and then once you have that line, start from the bottom of your lash line and go up so it's a natural escalation. Now, bottom lashes. Now's the point where you can decide what kind of lipstick you want to wear. And so in the 1930s, it was more nudes or reds. So I'm going to show you both with this look. Since my nude is more of a creamy shimmery, I'm starting with a lip liner to make sure that it lasts throughout the whole entire show. A tip when you're lining your upper lip is start from the corner and go up so you're opening up your lip, not closing it. A tip for when you're using a nude lipstick on stage is use a more pinky brown color rather than a color the same as your skin tone, because this way the audience will still be able to see your lips moving and know you're talking. And that is our 1930s look with a nude lip. A tip for your red lip is you want to make sure it's a blue toned red because it'll look good on everyone and it'll make your teeth whiter. I also find that using a lip brush for red lips is a lot easier because you have a lot more control. And that is the 1930s stage makeup with a red lip. The red lip is much more youthful, so if you have a younger character, I would go for the red lip. And that's it. I hope you found this helpful.